Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Hello, and welcome back to Big Mouth, and welcome to Thursday's edition of the dceu Daily. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you're feeling charitable, smash that subscribe button, smash the like button, then swim over to Twitter and follow me on @MoviesTVMad. It's lots of fun, lots of jesting, lots of breaking news. So let's go. On today's dceu Daily, I will be reading out an article about some Black Adam plot leaks. Very, very exciting. Then we'll be talking about the Flash movie filming schedule, talking about Matt Reeves actually posting some pictures of the Batmobile, and I'm going to explain it to you, those of you on the agenda train. Then we're going to be discussing a rumour that apparently Warner Brothers have given Zack Snyder $10 million. $10 million, that's not enough, is it? This is the rumour on IMDb. Basically, anyone can post anything on there anyway. So basically, Zack Snyder's been given $10 million to do some reshoots for the Snyder Cut. Obviously bullshit, but we will look into that as well. So, let's go. Bit of a croaky throat, so you're going to have to excuse it. Shall I clear it before I start? That's better. Let's go. Alleged Black Adam plot leaks explain involvement of ISIS and the Justice Society of America. Black Adam, starring and produced by Dwayne Johnson, is the latest DC movie to have details of its plot and villains leaked to the internet this week. The user posting anonymously shared details to a 4chan board concerning the backstory of the super beings described as anti-hero, his family, his homeland, let's get this right, Kahandag, members of the Justice Society, and the amulet of ISIS. The post's first supposed revelation is consistent with Black Adam's comic origins and what we've been hearing about the story involving a tragedy in his family. In the case of this leak, the death of his wife, Shiruta, it states. Now, before we go into that, something that we've noticed very, very clearly is Walter Hamada's running of the DC films is to try and be a lot more accurate and faithful to the comics. This makes me happy and a lot of people happy. Black Adam, Dwayne Johnson, is a slave chosen by the Council of Wizards to become their champion. His wife, Shiruta, is murdered, and he attempts to use the amulet of ISIS to revive her. The Council of Wizards attempts to stop him because ISIS is dangerous. Black Adam is influenced by the 7 deadly sins to kill them before the wizard Shazam exiles him to a magic tomb. What's really exciting here, it sounds like we will probably get the same guy who played the wizard Shazam in the Shazam movie recurring his role in this film. That's very exciting, and that shows that we are beginning to have an interconnected Walter Hamada DCEU universe, which is very vital here. Shiruta was the name of Adam's first wife in the comics, and she did die in ancient Egypt. Adam named the capital of Kahandag after her when he conquered it. Isis became his second wife. Fast forwarding to the present, Adam is accidentally freed and looking for the fragments of Isis' amulet to again revive Shiruta. He enlists scholar Adriana Tomaz, the vessel for Isis in modern time, in other media, to help him, and also finds time to liberate Kahandag, which we keep hearing will happen. The post reads, on present day, Adam is accidentally freed and liberates his homeland, Kahandag, from oppression. He then recruits a young scholar, Adriana Tomaz, to help him find the amulet of Isis, which has split into three pieces, and scattered across the planet in order to revive Shiruta. The Justice Society of America, what Dwayne Johnson promised his film would bring to us, enter the picture at this point. Led by Hawkman, the team includes Kendra Saunders, aka Hawkgirl, Cosmic Staff-wielding Courtney Whitmore, Stargirl, Atomic-powered Al Rothstein, Atom Smasher, and Kent Nelson, the human host for the powerful sorcerer, Dr. Fate. It's actually funny because I was watching, what is it, Mr. H Reviews or whatever that channel's called, and he tried to say that DC were copying Doctor Strange with Dr. Fate. Mate, try and read a comic. Dr. Fate is literally a telepath and also can tell the future, right? Nothing. I know they're kind of similar, but come on. Dr. Fate's much more awesome than Doctor Strange. Shush. The Justice Society of America assembles to stop Black Adam. Their leader is Carter Hall, the reincarnation of the Egyptian winged warrior Hawkman. And they are formed by Kendra Saunders, the reincarnation of winged warrior Hulk. Hang on. Yeah, Kendra Saunders, I think, is Stargirl, not Hawkgirl, right? So let's get that right. So they are formed by Kendra Saunders, right? The reincarnation of winged warrior Hawkgirl, Courtney Whitmore. Right, all right, okay, no, I'm wrong. Kendra Saunders is Hawkgirl. Of course she is. Totally wrong. I got a bit confused there. So, Courtney Whitmore, a young inventor who wields a cosmic staff, Al Rothstein, an atomic-powered vigilante, and Kent Nelson, the human host of the powerful sorcerer. The fragments of the amulet of Isis are in India, China, and the Tower of Fate. A multiversal nexus accessible through New York City. We are going to talk about that because that's very, very important. A multiversal nexus accessible through New York City. That's important for the future of the DCEU and what that means. Black Adam successfully brings together the pieces and resurrects Shiruta. She inherits the power of Isis and attempts to wipe out humanity. Adam and the JSA have to join forces to defend Karthag and stop Shiruta. To do so, the amulet has to be destroyed, which will kill her again, but Black Adam makes the hard and righteous choice to save his people. Black Adam reassembles the amulet of the Isis and returns to Karthag to perform the ritual and revives Shiruta. I know I'm repeating myself here, but he's explaining it, then he's giving us what the actual leak is saying. So we may as well say it twice anyway. The JSA confronts them. Shiruta is driven insane by the power of the Isis and attempts to wipe out humanity for corrupting the world. Black Adam joins forces with the JSA to defend Karthag, but in order to stop Isis, Black Adam is forced to destroy the amulet of Isis, losing Shiruta once again. The people of Karthag embrace Black Adam as their protector, and he becomes the ruler of the country. With Adriana by his side, Hawkman decides to give Black Adam an opportunity to redeem himself. The post ends there and makes no mention of Cyclone, Red Tornado, or Vintage Green Lantern and Flash, but of course we don't know if they're going to be in it or not. If they are in it, they might not play much of a role. Again, we don't know. Hawkman and Isis appear to be great assets to the story, which kind of echoes Wonder Woman 1984, that film's Wishing Stone. Not really. It doesn't really echo that at all, but never mind, you carry on. These claims could also be entirely inaccurate to keep the salt handy. We find out in December of 2021 when Black Adam heads to theatres. Production should start this summer. Wow! I like it. I really, really do like it. I think it sounds amazing. I want you to think about this, right? So the love of your life dies, right? You revive her using this Isis amulet or whatever, right? The MacGuffin is, right? She then has Isis in front of her and she becomes a villain. And she's now a threat to the whole of humanity. Black Adam has to make the compelling choice to kill her, to join the JSA and fight the woman he loves. All this time, he's gone all around the world, India, China, to get these pieces of this amulet. He revives her and she becomes a villain, a powerful goddess, and he has to take the decision to kill her. That sounds freaking amazing. That sounds the kind of comic book movie I want to see. I don't know about you. Now, one of the things that were very interesting in here is this tower in New York that has the multiverse nexus, which means this can open up the multiverse to the DCEU. That is massive. And this just shows, as I predicted a year ago, what direction Walter Hamada is going in. And that is to implement a multiverse, different Earths with different versions of these characters. This is very ambitious. This is very exciting. and I can't wait to see what happens. Really excited about that. Comment down below. Let me know what you think about all of that. But I think Black Adam is going to be freaking awesome. So yes, very, very exciting news. Warner Brothers, The Flash looks to begin filming this September and wrap around January, February 2021 in Atlanta. GA and Warner Brothers Studio, leaves them. Right, so that's very exciting. So it's looking like filming will begin in September and finish around February 2021. Don't forget this film's coming out in July of 2022. The film I'm calling Flashpoint Part 2. And this is the next part of Walter Hamada's plan. I'm, again, pumped, excited, can't wait for them to start shooting and seeing the scenes and seeing the excitement of Ezra Miller. We've seen him in Justice League. We saw him in the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover. Amazing stuff. And this kind of news just excites me. Do you remember they said this film wasn't going to happen just because before Walter Hamada, they couldn't organise a piss-up in a brewery. But now, just look at how organised this slate is. We have a freaking slate. We have 3 movies out next year. 2 movies this year. We've already had Birds of Prey. And we're getting Wonder Woman 1984 and that course correction and that timeline change this summer. All very exciting stuff. And all of that, and Walter Hamada was even able to grant Margot Robbie her wish of having a girl team-up movie, feminist movie, and it even made a profit. Walter Hamada can do no wrong. He is a genius, and he is moving the DCEU into a great and exciting direction. Now, as I go down my timeline, James Gunn has been talking to fans again. This guy is brilliant. And the hype level for his Suicide Squad, in my mind, is massive. So someone asked him, well, some interesting... This all started with a site called Fandom. James Gunn says the Suicide Squad won't heavily rely on CGI. There are more practical effects and sets in this film than any big-budget comic book film ever. Firstly, you can do that. Look, if you don't have to use CGI... doing it within the camera, it's such a better look. But James Gunn actually spoke about this and responded to this. And that's interesting. So James Gunn quote tweets this and says, CGI is important, but I use practical effects whenever possible with the Suicide Squad, including the biggest, most beautiful sets I've ever seen by Beth Mickle. Real locations, real costumes by Judiana Makovsky, and pyrotechnics by Dan Sudik, prosthetic effects by Legacy, and more. He's just been so forthcoming, and I think it's wonderful. And this is what we're getting from these DCEU directors, and I love it. We'll talk about Matt Reeves very shortly as well. So where are we then? So, yeah, basically then someone replies to that and says, I think the CGI today is great, but nothing can be as real than the real thing itself. Are practical effects more expensive than CGI? Question mark. Because if they are not, I don't see why there's so much CGI. James Gunn replies to this. The cost difference depends partly on what you are doing and how good the work is. Cheap practical is cheaper than cheap CGI, but cheap CGI could be cheaper than high quality practical. Interesting. And you just can't do a full-size practical, say Mothra. Wow. Wow. Say Mothra. Whatever that means. But anyway, very interesting stuff. I love these film directors who go onto Twitter and instead of going on and boring on about their politics, they actually educate people, ordinary people who love films, right, and storytelling, about what it takes to make a film. Because there's so much misinformation and people seem to think they know what good CGI is, bad CGI, what it costs to make a film, thinking that budgets of films are separated with marketing. No. When you hear the cost of a film, marketing is in there. It's not separate. So when you want to try and contrive a situation like Birds of Prey, where you're trying to say it's a flop, you separate the budget. But the truth is, the whole budget that we know, which was about 85 million, the marketing was included inside it. Fact. But this is brilliant by James Gunn. I want him to do his Guardians of the Galaxy, but then I want him to trot back and make as many DCEU films and DC theme films, get my words out, as possible. The guy's fantastic. He really is, and I can't wait for the Suicide Squad. So pumped for that one. So I saw a rumour that apparently Zack Snyder has been given $10 million by Warner Brothers to reshoot some new scenes for the Snyder Cut of Justice League. 10 million wouldn't cover it. So I don't know if he's being given some money by Warner Brothers to do this. Just remember what the clapperboard said in the unlikely case. Just remember that. Just remember that. So Zack loves to tease things, and that's great, but then people go and add 2 and 2 and make 600. I hope it's a hint. I hope he is going to shoot the Martian Manhunter reveal scene with Clark and Lois. That would be amazing. And then we can finally see this movie. But who knows the truth of what's going on? But we keep on hashtagging, release the Snyder Cut, release the Air Cut, and who knows? Right now, he could be shooting those additional scenes. We can only dream and we can only hope. Right, yesterday, Matt Reeves was at it again, and he showed us some pictures of the Batmobile, although it's not really the Batmobile, but the first car Batman's going to drive in his movie, The Batman. Now, I'm quite confident that this film's going to be called Batman Vengeance in the end. As I spoke about, heavy spoilers leaked this yesterday. Heavy spoilers is on YouTube. He's really good. But here's the pictures of this new Batmobile, if you want to call it that. This is awesome. This is really, really awesome. I like the way the red lights come out like that. It looks pretty cool. Now, this is interesting because at the back there, you can see that Bruce Wayne has made some modifications, or maybe it's Alfred. So obviously it's going to go faster than an average car. So again, the people on the agenda train, basically the Snyder community, the rogue elements, not us, but the rogue elements who don't understand what it is to have manners and have etiquette and be polite, have been nasty to Matt Reeves on the comment section of these, but Matt Reeves doesn't give a shit. He gets to make his Batman film. He's a Batman fan, and he's going to give us something amazing, right? We know that. So let me try. This is their agenda now. Say, oh my God, look at that Batmobile, and then start posting a GIF of Batfleck's Batmobile, which was awesome, by the way. And I also love the Tumblr in the Dark Knight, in Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. Let's be clear. This is Bruce Wayne's first attempt at a Batmobile. It's not the one he's going to be driving forever. By the end of the film, I'm sure he will have the iconic, awesome Batmobile. This is his first attempt, right? And you all know that. You people who are part of the agenda train, you people who don't know very much, the normies, and you comic book readers, we all know this is a Batman Earth 1 story. This is a young Bruce Wayne just starting out, and that's his first attempt at a Batmobile. And I think that's brilliant, because we get to know Batman from the very beginning, not when he's old and bitter and twisted. Not that I don't like that element of it from BVS, right? But the point is, or The Dark Knight Returns, which is the original place that narrative comes from, but this is Batman at the very beginning. And this is his first attempt at a Batmobile. Stop trying to spoil this film for the rest of us. Let me be clear here. We are all going to go and see this film if Corona doesn't kill us. But of course it's not, because it's just the bloody flu. But anyway, don't get me started. But we are all going to see this film. This film will make over $1 billion, maybe a couple of billion. It could be the most successful film, the most awesome Batman film ever. And you, my friends, will not spoil it for us. Love those pictures. Excited that Matt Reeves is posting these things himself, rather than, people with long lenses all the time leaking stuff, which we've had already. It's important that Matt is got hold of the narrative for the marketing of this film. But please comment down below. Like, share and subscribe. Are you excited about Black Adam? Are you excited about the brand new Batmobile from the Batman movie, aka Batman Vengeance? What do you think? Are you excited about the future of the DCEU and how it's all going? I certainly am. Comment down below, like, share and subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow with even more DCEU Daily. See you then.